right now. You're listening to the Scary Vibes podcast. My name is Michael, aka Mr. Scary Vibes.
And my name is Abe, aka Big Paranormal. Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back. Today, it's like a milestone, episode 40,
Yes, sir.
and we have a lot planned for you guys. We've watched a couple horror movies, and I actually took a dive in the past to something that I thought I would never watch in my entire life. But I'm excited to talk about it with you guys. And before we get into all that, Abraham, how have you been?
Oh, we always got to do the check-in, everybody. Right? We
Oh
always
yeah,
have to do the check-in because we never know what the hell's going on
and
any given day, any given week with myself or with Mr. Scary Vibes. And
and
of course, what's up?
I feel like we haven't talked. Usually we're talking every single day, but with the shakeup with your job situation, I've been missing what's going on with you. So I'm excited to just listen for a chance.
Yeah, man. There's definitely a lot going on in my life right now. We try to be as open with the listeners as possible. So right now, I am currently in between jobs at the moment. I mean, I didn't think I was going to be in this type of a situation again, but here we are. And basically, what ended up happening was the uh company that I worked for. I was a medical courier, a driver, and I would deliver medicine to sick and dying patients across the city of Chicago, across the state, and sometimes across state lines into parts of Indiana or Michigan. And so I was, doing okay with that. And, after I got laid off in June of 2024 from my public safety job that I had been doing for a really long time, I was with the city of Chicago, Chicago Public Schools for more than 13 years. So I, found myself having to start over from there. Luckily, my mom knew somebody at this company, was able to get me in at this medical courier job. So I didn't miss too much, work. But now what ended up happening was somebody, I guess they ended up selling the company. And the company wanted, new drivers, and the existing drivers, they wanted everybody to kind of reapply for the positions and stuff like that. It's just a headache, Honestly, I think it was just like a situation where they wanted to be able to not use specific drivers. But one of the things that really bothered me was that they wanted the new drivers to pay for like a background check. And I was
Bro,
that's pretty nuts, seeing as how we had to get background checks in order to get, the jobs that we already currently had. But I just think, like I said, I just think it's like red tape and a whole bunch of crap to make us jump through in order to prove that we want to work for them. But yeah, man, it's just been kind of a roller coaster. On top of that, my grandmother's house sold, and we're in the process of trying to, clear that all out. Majorly, it was like my mom and my two aunts that have been working on like clearing out the stuff. I went there a couple days last week to help my aunt take some stuff to storage and whatever. And so that was it's kind of a bittersweet thing because, that was home for all of us,
oh yeah,
And so last Thursday we were at the house, kind of going through some stuff, and it was kind of late. We were there for a long time. And as I was sitting there, something ended up happening while I was sitting by myself in like the living room area. I started to feel very uneasy in the house, which is not, it's not normal, especially in my grandmother's house. But I started to feel this intense panic, you know, like there was something was telling me that I needed to be on guard.
mm-hmm.
And I started to feel like this tightness in like my chest, my breathing. It just did not feel right at all. I felt like it was something that was trying to attach itself to me. So I think it might have been a spirit that was passing by and was trying to kind of see what I was about. And I kept getting these like odd flashes, like my brain, I started getting like brain fog.
Hmm.
And whatever this thing, if it was trying to communicate with me, I feel like it didn't know how. And it was like very muddled, and it just really felt wrong. The energy did not coincide with my energy. It just felt all types of wrong. It felt all types of bad. And it was already late at night. I think it was closer to like 11 p.m. And like I told my mom and my aunt, I'm like, listen, like, we need to go. Like, we need to go right now. Like, I mean, you guys are okay. I'm like, but I need to get out of here. Like, I need to leave. So we ended up, finishing up packing up some stuff. And then my aunt, she's kind of a worrywart, kind of scared of her own shadow type. Like, she's scared of everything. And so she started freaking out because she knows my situation. And she's like, I got to come back here tomorrow by myself. What if there's something still here? And like, I had to explain to her, I'm like, no, like, you don't understand. This thing is not here as like a part of the house. It's here for me. I told her, you
Yeah.
don't have anything to worry about. Once I leave, it's going to go, like, and that's exactly what ended up happening. As soon as we left the house and like we got into the car and started driving towards the, towards home, I immediately started to feel relief there. Because for whatever reason, I feel like the farther I was getting away from the actual, like, from where we were at, I felt like it was kind of loosening its grasp on me, you know? Um, so yeah, immediately started to feel better. And my aunt started to feel better because I told her, I was like, you'll be all right. If you go there tomorrow, you'll be fine. Nothing's going to mess with you. Like, literally, this shit, it just messes with me and it follows me, you know?
Yeah.
Which eventually it did. I feel like it did catch up with me because a few hours later I was at home and then I started to feel uneasy again. But by then I was able to kind of recognize it and started to push it away, extend my energy outward, and just like tell it to go away. I still don't know what the hell it was, dude. And it's like, especially happening in my grandmother's house, it was very unsettling because my grandmother's house has always been a source of refuge, for all of us, for all the members of my family. We always knew that no matter where we were in the world, how far we went, we could always come back and we could always go home, you know? And so for us, it's kind of sad that now the house it's not going to be there. But you know what? I kind of take solace in the thought that it's now going to act as a refuge for another family. My family has been, but yeah, I mean, nothing lasts forever, you know? And
Except for herpes.
wow.
Oh, I know. That's kind of coming off of such
Not
a
really.
coming off a heartfelt, warm
Dude,
message.
that really just took a turn, man. What the hell, Mike? Oh my God, dude.
Well, I
No.
remember seeing like somebody being like, "Nothing lasts forever except herpes." So I was like, "Oh, okay. I guess that's the only thing you can't get rid of."
Yeah, that too. And taxes and death.
Ugh.
But yeah, we'll cut it off there, man. But yeah, after that, man, I mean, it's currently 5 degrees here in Chicago. I mean, I don't know how cold it is out there where you're at, but it's pretty frigid, man. So we've been having to like go in and out, and that cold really takes its toll on your body. And not only just, specifically your muscles, but like your lungs too. Especially if you're lifting heavy things, right? Like you're breathing in that cold air and it kind of messes with you. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much, what's been going on in my
Abraham land.
world. Yeah, in my world, and considering, writing, thinking about becoming a writer, and maybe sharing my experiences on paper through text and whatnot. See how that works out.
I mean, all those other things, they didn't work out for a reason, right? Because it's not what you're meant to be doing.
Yeah,
You're not meant to be a medical courier. I mean, it was something to help pay the bills. You're grateful for it, but
yeah,
no, you're meant
yeah,
for
man.
some bigger stuff.
Yeah, so let's see, man. Hopefully 2026 will definitely be a more productive year, a better year. So I'm looking forward to it, man. And I'm hoping that Scary Vibes podcast ends up, becoming a huge success also. And, but we're just going to do what we can to work at that. Yeah.
They
Yep. So what's going on with you, brother? How have you been?
well went back to work after my long hiatus, and work has been working. Like you said, it's been cold.
Yeah.
I did need a new dentist, and
Mm.
I scheduled an appointment. Okay, so originally I had found a dentist, and they were like, "Bro, new patient. It's going to be about 3 months." So I lived with it. I was like, "Okay," but then I was sitting at my daughter's gymnastics, and I was like, "Well, I only tried one place. Let me try somewhere else." So I ended up,
Okay.
looking up some reviews while she was practicing, and I found one that was local, and I set up a. They were like, "We can have you in tomorrow." I was like, "Okay, I'll be there."
Nice.
One, it's like mentally preparing yourself for the dentist. Like I was good with the 3 months out because it was like you can mentally put yourself there. I
Yeah.
did want something sooner, but I was like, bro, one day. I mentally wasn't prepared. So I ended up going to the dentist,
Mhm.
and since I'm a new patient, they have to do x-rays. So one, I hate doing x-rays because they stick all those things in your mouth and it just makes you want to gag. But the whole reason why I want to bring this up is because they had me in a room sitting on a chair facing a wall, and there was
Mhm.
a TV monitor, and it's playing trees and nature and just things that you would think that is relaxing.
Right.
And in the beginning, I get the gist. I'm like, okay, they're trying to relax me. Makes sense. But as the entire visit continued, bro, it started to give me some extreme anxiety.
Really?
Because eventually they put the chair back, and they're like, okay, and there's a TV on the ceiling that's playing the same exact thing, and people are like coming in the room, and I don't know what's going on behind me, and I'm in this chair, and it's so unfamiliar to me, and
uh,
I was like, I hate this. Why can't they just turn on like Roseanne or something,
hell yeah.
or something scary? But I thought it was kind of fascinating that it's supposed to help with anxiety, but it wasn't. It was doing the complete opposite. It was like freaking me out.
Well, I mean, I guess the reason why they're not playing anything comedic is because they don't want you laughing while they have their, tools in your mouth and they're messing with stuff in there. So I mean, that's it's kind of a good thing, right? But I mean, when you think
How are
of
you with a dentist?
honestly, dude, I feel like the idea of the dentist kind of freaks everybody out, right? But I think it's more just because you're in this vulnerable state, right? You're sitting in this chair and you're trusting this complete stranger to put sharp metal objects in your mouth and not mess you up somehow. You know,
Exactly.
it takes a ridiculous amount of trust. And I feel like I don't have that amount of trust. Like you, I would be probably freaking out with anxiety. Um, but yeah, the whole thing about, I mean, maybe play some music or something. Like maybe they should ask their patients ahead of time, like, hey, so what type of music, what do you usually do at the end of like a busy day in order to help yourself relax, unwind, you know? So that would definitely help out any patient get over their fears, get over their anxiety. Cause
Yeah.
like, I don't know, nature sounds, that just ain't it. At least not for me.
Yeah, from what I've learned throughout my life is there are such thing as good dentist and bad dentist.
Oh yeah.
And unfortunately, I needed to switch. And now, knowing that there is good and bad, because I've had bad dentists that make
Hmm.
you, that are too rough with you. And then I had a dentist that was like so gentle. And it was
Mm.
like, I didn't even. he was like cleaning my teeth, scraping, talking to me. I don't even remember him ever even giving me any needles or anything. And like, I was like, wow, it's done. He was magical. He had magical hands,
You must have been.
but he ended up leaving, and now I'm all alone, and I need to trust people. And I actually go back tomorrow for a cleaning. So
Dude, this is why you have abandonment issues.
I
What's up with these doctors?
know,
Messed up, man.
but yeah, so that's kind of what I've been on, just working and just dealing with the whole new dentist situation.
Hmm.
So, have you watched anything scary lately?
Surprisingly, in my downtime, like yesterday, I kind of had to take it easy yesterday because all this moving stuff like messed up my knees really bad. And you already know from like my previous jobs that I've had, I've been on my feet for like 18, 20 hours, a lot of manual labor jobs. So I did a lot, like significant damage to my knees. So my knees were in a lot of pain, man. A lot of pain. So yesterday I was pretty much just laid up the whole day, falling in and out of sleep, and I decided to like catch up on a few movies. And obviously, we're in December. So I was trying to find some new movies that I haven't seen before, right? That were Christmas themed. Some new horror movies that were Christmas themed. And
It's the season.
yeah, 'tis the season, exactly. But the thing is, in the process of searching through all of these streaming platforms, I realized that I'm a bit of a snob when it comes to the movies that I watch because there's a ton of content on all of these apps, right? But they're really, really low budget. And I found that a lot of these films, I would make it maybe 10 minutes in, if that. Most of the time, it's usually, oh man, it's usually like maybe 5 minutes into it. If
Hmm.
it's just really low budget, like the quality isn't good, bro, I'm so turned off to the idea of finishing these movies. I don't know if that's ever happened with you.
No, well, similar to an extent. So sometimes if it's like a B or a C level movie, I could watch it. Where I struggle is I remember like getting bootlegs back in the day or
Yeah.
trying to stream stuff, and I just couldn't lock in. I would just be so like irritated with the sound quality or the picture quality that I would be so just I couldn't get into it.
Yeah.
So I know exactly what you're talking about. And the best time that I do with movies, or the best way I watch movies, is definitely going to the movie theater because that's like the time that I actually will put my phone away, put it on silence, and I will just lock in and watch. So I could definitely relate to like if the quality's just not there, that you're just like, what am I watching? What am I doing here? There's so many other
Yeah.
good movies I could be watching.
I'm
So
saying, dude. And it's funny because, a lot of these films, they had like pretty good titles and, you read the description and it seems pretty decent. But then, like, literally, as I'm going into the movie, it looks like something that, like, a 1980s camcorder caught. And I was just like, yeah, no, the production value is not here. And one of the telltale ways that you can, figure out if you're dealing with a really low budget film is if it does not have a trailer. If it does not have like a commercial for you to look at to decide whether or not you want to watch this movie, that's a good indicator that it's very, very, very low budget.
no way,
And
you're right. I remember it's probably gonna make me sound really old, but there's probably people that don't even know. But you remember, like, if you had cable, then there was the pay-per-view channels,
mm-hmm.
and you would have to catch a movie that you wanted to rent, like during a certain time period, and you would rent it. It wouldn't just be on demand. You would have to be like, oh, at 8 o'clock, I could rent, Fast and the Furious for $6.99. But I remember seeing like horror movies on there, and sometimes they would offer a trailer, sometimes they wouldn't, but the description would be so freaking good. And for some reason, the crappier movies they would always charge like 19.99 or 17.99 to
Mm-hmm.
rent it, and you'd be like, I mean,
It's
the
got to be
description.
good.
The description sounds so good, but there's no trailer. It has to be good, right? You're paying more,
Uh huh.
then you would rent it. and it would just be trash. It would
Womp,
always be trash. I'm like traumatized.
womp, womp. Yeah, exactly. And then now you're angry. You're disappointed and you're angry, right? Because you spent so much damn money on this piece of crap that wasn't worth your time at all or your money. But yeah, luckily for me, I revisited a couple movies that I watched over the years, and so one was Black Friday 2021, and the other one was Santa's Sleigh that released back in 2005. Right? So Black Friday, for those that have never seen it, it's a horror comedy, and this movie centers around Black Friday, right? And the reason why I wanted to watch this movie was because it reminded me of, a time in my youth when I did work retail,
Hmm.
and it's all about working that Black Friday event, right? The doorbuster deals, people lining up at midnight in order to get into these stores, right? In order to catch these Black Friday deals, man, these steals. And this movie is all about that, right? You have a cast of, a mix of different people. You've got Devon Sawa, who was famously, in Final Destination. He was in the Casper movie. He was in the Chucky series, and most recently, Hard Eyes. Ivana Vaquero, she was in Pan's Labyrinth and The New Daughter. Bruce Campbell, which everybody knows is, he's famous for the Evil Dead franchise, right? And so basically, they're all employees at this huge warehouse store. And of course, all of them are not happy. They'd rather be spending time with their families, but they're forced to come in and have to work for these ungrateful people. And what ends up happening is there's some kind of an alien outbreak that happens, and there's like these spores that end up infecting patrons of the store. And it's somewhat of like a zombie movie, kind of, right? Because when these people get infected by these spores, they don't turn into the undead, right? What they do is they start kind of mutating and they get these jagged teeth, and they become these like ravenous creatures that are just basically trying to attack anybody that's within arm's length, right? Anybody that's close to them. Super fast and super strong. So it's not your run of the mill like zombie movie, but it is definitely like an outbreak movie. There's got, a significant amount of humor in it. It's pretty funny, but like it immediately started preying on my anxiety, right? And I thought, like, because I remember working for this huge warehouse store when I was younger, and I would have to go in for these doorbuster deals. And it sucks, dude, because it's like, oh man, so we had to be there by 4 a.m. in order to open the doors at 6, right? And I remember coming into the store and them having just pallets filled with merchandise, new TVs. At that time, DVD player, like Blu-ray players, MP3s, stuff like that. Now, mind you, we're talking like early 2000s, right? Early to mid 2010, something like that. So they would bring in a lot of stuff, blenders and all types of stuff that these people would line up down the block in order to get. And I just remember hearing all of the people kind of going crazy outside, just getting anxious. And we just felt so much anxiety when they were counting down to open up the doors, right? And then you look over at these glass doors and you just see rows and rows and rows of people. It's like something straight out of like The Walking Dead, you know?
Yeah,
Um it was, just thinking about it right now is just giving me anxiety, dude.
we got to think. Plus two. I mean, there's so many tragic events that you always hear about, like people just getting trampled
Oh yeah,
and beat up. I mean, I kind of live for those videos, not trampling videos, but when people like start getting like fist fights over blenders,
bro.
it's like, bro,
You
what are you doing here?
yeah, that I not America's finest time, I gotta say,
And they
because like
never have like, like they'll put a TV. They'll be like, oh yeah, we have 50-inch TVs for $200, but it's
mhm.
like some brand that you never even heard of, straight off of Timu.
Uh-huh.
That's probably gonna last you, a year
Uh
if you're
oh
lucky.
yeah, it's burning out. Definitely.
So you had to work at one of these events.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I worked at several, dude, because I worked at a warehouse store for like 7 years, and I had to do it. I had to be there every year, dude. Every year Black Friday. And I remember when they opened the doors, these people would flood in, bro. They would run. And you definitely would see just like the worst of humanity, bro. I've never seen people act so out of pocket to grab a blender in my life. Like I saw fist fights, right? Like just like you said, I saw people beating the crap out of each other. I saw people stealing from other people's their carts. There was this little girl who was in the aisle and a grown woman. So this little girl was holding like it was called a ninja, like a food processor, and her mother had her holding it while like she went and grabbed another one. And this woman saw that this little girl who had to be maybe 5,
Hmm.
she ran over and snatched it out of the little girl's hands, dude. And like this poor little girl's just standing there like, whoa, just kind of looking around like, what the hell? Like, what just happened? And of course, the mother saw what happened. She starts yelling and screaming, and then she yells at her daughter, the 5-year-old, because she's like, why didn't you hold on to it? Like, bro, you entrusted this task to a 5-year-old? What's wrong with you, man? Like, people just showed the worst. I remember I was outside of the store, kind of helping direct traffic, and I guess these two guys ended up walking up to the door at the same time, and one of them stole the other one's parking space.
Yeah.
Like, I guess he was getting ready to pull in, and the guy just whipped in. And it was so funny because it was like pure like Caucasian trash talking, because like they were trying it was like they were insulting each other, but they weren't trying to be too insulting about it. Like they weren't really trying to say the curse words. And it was hysterical because I'm like, I'm not used to this crap. I'm Hispanic. Like, and this guy like walked up, he's like, hey, pal. Hey, buddy.
This is not what we're going to be doing
I
today.
I know that you saw me. I know that you saw me because I had my blinker there. All right, guy. All right. And the guy's like, hey, you know what? You know what? You just weren't fast enough, bud. You just weren't fast enough. And they were just going back and forth. And the guy just goes, you know what? Suck me, buddy. Suck me. And I was like, wait, what? What the hell kind of an insult is that?
Dude, that's
But like, bro, it was just weird. And then the guys like went to fight each other. And I went to break it up, but then I thought to myself, I'm like, dude, I'm not this is not my night job. I wasn't a bouncer at that time. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't bouncing at that
yeah.
moment. So I'm like, I'm not getting paid to break up fights. Yo, let these people beat the hell out of each other over a damn parking spot. It was horrible, man. Horrible. It,
So I've never did a Black Friday like camp out event, but I
mhm.
did something similar. So you know me, I'm a big, big gamer.
Yeah.
And when the Xbox 360 came out,
Mhm.
there was a shortage of them, and I wanted one really bad. I remember when they first came out, going to GameStop, they didn't have them. I would literally come home every day from school, and I would just start cold calling GameStops and any type of electronics store in the area.
Mhm.
So I ended up calling the Best Buy uh, by Ford City Mall,
Mhm.
and they must have had a heart, or I don't even know. But they were like, "Hey, we're gonna get a shipment right before Christmas. I think it was like December 21st or something. It would. They were like, okay, we're gonna get a shipment right before Christmas. There's only gonna be 30. It's gonna be first come, first serve.
Okay.
So I remember going to my mom and begging her, and she's like, "It's not gonna happen." But my sister, she was, she was like, "Yeah, I'll take you. Like, let's do this. Like, you want it? Like, we'll show up at like 10 o'clock at night, and we'll stay the entire night until the next day when they open at 8 a.m."
Dude, that's
Oh,
sister.
so we end up pulling up around 10 p.m. like the plan.
Okay.
There's already maybe 5 or 6 people in line, but they said they're gonna have 30.
Mm.
So we ended up taking turns, and it was so cold. I remember not being able to feel my feet, and we would take turns like going back into the car and trying to warm up.
Uh-huh.
So around 7 a.m. before the store opens, this thuggish dude
Mm.
pulls up late as
Okay.
heck. There's already 50 people in line. He ain't getting one. And
Oh,
what this
I already know where this is going.
then this dude walks to the front of the line.
I knew it.
He
Oh
walks to the front of the line, and people just start like talking smack to him. They're like, "F you, like get in line, buddy," and like this and that.
oh no.
But there's really no rules. Honestly, the workers are just gonna open the door, and
Right, right.
so who knows if he was here or not here? It's so
What a dick,
so
bro.
everybody's like roasting this dude, roasting him, and like eventually he cracks.
Okay.
He ends up walking off. He goes to his car. He pulls around.
Mm-hmm.
He rolls his window down.
Okay.
He reaches between his legs
No.
like he's about to just light us all up right before Christmas. And he says, "It ain't even worth it." And then he just rolls his window up and leaves. So I don't know if he had a gun, if he didn't
No.
have one,
I doubt it. I doubt it,
but I
honestly.
remember, I think for that moment, like everyone thought they were gonna die. I think my sister like shoved me to the floor, like to not get, you know, shot possibly. But
oh my goodness, bro.
it
That
gets
is
crazy out there.
yeah, it's insane, man. But just I mean, just think about the audacity though, right? Like this guy, like people put in time, right? Like people put in a lot of time and they stood out there in the freezing cold. You know, that's a lot of dedication. So like if you bust your ass like that, you deserve to get a damn Xbox. That's all I'm saying. But then you have some asshole who just shows up and just thinks that they can just cut in line. And you know what? This really pisses me off. You shouldn't have even brought this up because I feel like it lit a fire under me right now because it really makes me mad whenever like you remember back in the day when you used to go to like a theme park
Yeah.
and people you would just see people cutting in line and you'd been standing in line for like an hour already. It's like, bro, I hate people. Seriously, why did you even say this? Why'd you tell me this story?
Oh,
It's
I hate
upsetting me
that.
so bad, but that's a great story though, man. I'm glad everything went off without a hitch and you're still here. I'm glad
And
that
I
that
got my
guy,
Xbox that day.
you got it.
I got the Xbox that day, so I was
Hey,
so happy. Went home, I was playing all the games. I was
yes,
definitely a spoiled child.
dude. Big ups to your big
Sometimes.
sister, man. Big ups to your sister for taking you. That's awesome.
Yeah, she was
That's
a real
awesome.
one.
I mean, times have definitely changed, bro. And thank God that nobody really has to stand out there in the cold anymore in order to get those deals. Now everything is done online, but it's probably better, right? I would think so because
No, it definitely it
you
definitely is.
don't have to worry about those psychotic people like waiting to sucker punch a 5 year old in order to get. Dude, I'm telling you, just the worst type of people,
I
and
think
that's why
I
that movie really messed me up.
I think I checked, and I think Walmart's their stores were closed Thanksgiving Day, which is
Hmm.
surprising because at some point it was literally like Black Friday deals would start Thursday at like 5 o'clock. I remember.
Hmm.
So I'm glad that companies are starting to get a little away from it and at least leave it for Friday. But yeah, back in those early 2000 days, It was crazy.
Yeah, I agree with you, brother. Yep. So that being said, I mean,
So
Black
how'd you like
Friday
the
was
movie?
it was no, it was a good watch, man. Black Friday was it was a good watch, really funny. They had some pretty interesting kills in there. Pretty interesting kills, but I mean, when you watch movies like this, you're not watching it for the storyline, right? It is a horror comedy. It's very campy. It's pretty funny. I
What
do
was
recommend it if you're looking for something that is a little bit more lighthearted, right? It's like a mix of Christmas and sci-fi.
what was Bruce Campbell's role in this movie?
Bruce Campbell, he was the store manager, right? Like he was the general manager, and he was just kind of a dick. Not even gonna lie, because to him, he's like, no, we need to stay open. We have to like there's a person who ends up getting attacked, and
Uh-huh.
of course the employees are like, we have to call the police, we have to call the paramedics, and he's like, no, 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 like hold on a second, we no, we can't do that, because if we do that, we're going to need to shut down, and if we shut down, he's like, well, okay, but if we do call the cops, then maybe we could open up again by 2 a.m. And so like they're like, dude, are you nuts? Somebody literally just got like killed in our store. And he's like, you don't understand, I'm under a lot of pressure. This, the higher ups are expecting this store to do, to be in like the whatever hundreds of thousands or something. They want us to rake in the dough tonight. It's really important. And so he was very corporate,
Did they have
you
any
know.
chainsaws?
Um, I don't remember if they had a chainsaw. They did have a machete.
Ooh.
Like they had some pretty cool things. Like there was a kid in there who was using a plastic wiffle ball bat as like as a weapon, which I thought was pretty funny. But yeah, man, it's awesome. It's just a fun movie to watch.
Yeah, I'm going to check it out. There's
Yeah,
still
definitely.
time before Christmas.
Yeah, check it out. It's definitely not more on the scary end. It's more on the funny end. More, I would say, kind of like if you're into like I don't know, Shaun of the Dead type humor. It's
Oh.
more up that alley, right? But the other movie that I had watched, Santa Sleigh, bro, that's even more campy. It's even more just crazy. I would actually say that this movie, it's almost like watching a cartoon. Like that is how just slapstick the humor, the stuff was, all the craziness. I mean, Bill Goldberg, you know, Goldberg from the WWE, WCW, he was the main character, right? He played Santa. And the premise of this movie is that historians got the whole story of Santa wrong, right? Santa was actually the son of the devil, and he was the one that was tasked with punishing bad people, right? Punishing bad kids and bad adults too, right? So obviously, if they had, the name on the list, on the naughty list, he was going to come at you and he was going to get you no matter what.
Ooh.
And the funny thing is literally right in the beginning of this movie, dude, not even 5 minutes, dude, you have this scene where I was actually surprised with some of the names that were in this movie, but you had James Caan, who was from Misery, right?
Yeah.
Fran Drescher from The Nanny. You had Chris Kattan, former SNL alum, and he was from The House on Haunted Hill, and Rebecca Gayheart from Urban Legend, right? So there were some pretty big names in this movie. I was very surprised that they had this many people in this movie. But bro, they're all getting ready to sit down to like Christmas dinner, and they
Uh-huh.
hear Santa's, they hear the reindeer bells, and they hear the footsteps, the hooves on the roof, and they hear something coming down the chimney, and you just see freaking Bill Goldberg dressed up as Santa Claus break through the chimney and just start killing people just comically. It's insane. It's got to be like I don't know, man, the craziest first 5 minutes of the movie I've ever seen in
Yeah,
a movie.
honestly, when you originally told me that you watched this
Uh
and you
huh.
were explaining the premise and Bill Goldberg being in it,
Yeah.
honestly, I thought this was like some crappy modern day movie,
Uh-huh.
but I'm actually looking it up. It's from 2005.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
Is and this is your first time watching it?
No, no. Actually, I was revisiting this one. I saw
Oh,
it,
okay.
dude. I saw it years ago, probably back then. Like around 2005, something like that. And I remember watching it, and so I just wanted to kind of rewatch it, refresh on it. And I was just cracking up at just how stupid the movie is, really. But like I said earlier, when you watch these types of movies, you're not watching them for the writing. It's just crazy. It's just nuts. There's a lot of imaginative kills. They come up with really inventive ways of, finding different Christmas items and killing people in different ways with these items,
Yeah.
which I thought was hilarious. Like, this is the first time I've ever seen somebody killed with a turkey leg in a movie, you know, which was pretty awesome. Somebody got killed with like the Christmas star.
So wait, you're saying somebody killed somebody with a Christmas star?
Yeah, man. Like the Santa character, he like kills people with candy canes. He kills people with garland. I mean, just the amazing ways that he was coming up with different ways to kill people with like Christmas themed objects. It was pretty cool. And one of the things that I thought was dope was the instead of giving him reindeer, he had like this gigantic bison that was pulling his sleigh, which I thought was so badass. It
That
was
is
awesome. So he was
badass.
basically like a Viking version
Uh-huh.
of Santa Claus. He had this really long hair. He had like a couple braids and whatever. He was just bro. He was killing it. Absolutely killing it in this movie. But the movie itself, like I said, it's just fun, man. It's stupid. It's just like the humor is there, the kills are there. It's just fun overall, man. You got to watch this movie if you get
I
a
do have
chance.
to watch it. Plus, I was into wrestling back then, so I'll probably enjoy it just based off that alone. So I'm gonna have to go and check that one out.
Yeah.
I didn't plan on talking about a Christmas movie,
Okay.
but there's a banger,
Ooh.
and I know bangers. Okay,
Okay.
so Dear Santa. Okay, so I mean, we all grew up with, first, what's your favorite Christmas movie that's not horror? It could be horror, but what is your favorite Christmas movie first?
Uh, Damn, man. That's kind of difficult for me because I'm not a huge fan of
Uh
Christmas. Um, Christmas themed movie. It's got to be between A Christmas Story, right, which is that classic with Ralphie, and he wanted the BB gun.
huh.
I don't know
Uh-huh.
if you saw that one, and probably Home Alone. Those are the movies that I usually watch every Christmas.
Yeah, Home Alone is, yeah, that's a good one. The thing about the Christmas Story is they would always play it, I think, on like AMC,
Mm-hmm.
like on a 24-hour loop or something, and I never watched it completely from beginning to end. I would always just like catch pieces of it
Mm-hmm.
throughout the entire day of Christmas because I think my oldest sister, she would always like have it on and it would just keep playing on this loop.
Mm-hmm.
So it definitely seems like a good movie, but I've never watched it from exactly beginning to end.
Okay.
But my favorite non-horror Christmas movie, I definitely love Jim Carrey's The Grinch. But I feel like we had so many bangers back then. We had, Santa Claus and Jingle All the Way, and there were just so many good ones. And it's been a long time since I seen a good one until last year. Paramount Plus put out a movie called Dear Santa,
Mm-hmm.
and I highly recommend it to everybody. So in this movie, and it kind of has a little dark twist to it, so it's good for our horror listeners. So it's on Paramount Plus. It has Jack Black. Basically, in this movie, you meet this dyslexic boy, Liam,
Okay.
and he's a little nerdy kid. He's getting bullied at school. His parents, they're also having trouble with their relationship. They're on the verge of probably getting a divorce.
Mm.
So he goes upstairs and he writes his letter to Santa, but like I said, he's dyslexic, so he actually misspelled it and wrote a letter to Satan.
Oh no.
And they send the letter, And guess who comes knocking on the door?
Oh no.
Jack Black. He's not Satan in the movie, but he's like one of his like disciples or something.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, he kind of almost sells his soul in this movie
Oh man.
to kind of get three wishes, and it's just a comedy but with a little dark twist to it that I highly recommend. I watched it last year with my daughter, and I highly recommend it to everybody. It's one of those it's a modern one that it hits. So if you haven't watched it, I'd recommend watching it
All
soon.
right, cool. Yeah, you know what? I remember I had it on last year, like just in the background while I was cleaning up, and I didn't really pay attention to it, but now you have me wanting to replay it. So I definitely am gonna have to watch it again. Would you say that this is more of like, so it's not even necessarily like a horror movie, right? It's more like a family movie.
Yeah, it's a family feel good movie. It just has that twist of Satan and selling your soul,
Uh-huh.
but anything with Jack Black, it's just gonna be a good time.
Right. I mean, that guy is rock and roll, right? Like that dude is all about like crazy stuff. If you've seen his work, listen to his music, like what was it? Tenacious D and The Pick of Destiny is one of like my favorite movies. Nacho Libre. Like that guy is hilarious.
I'm
I
I'm
absolutely love Jack Black.
I'm hoping your brain is working right now because I'm about to put you on the spot. But there was just something recently that
Ooh.
came out that we were just like going crazy about. I remember calling you and being like, "Bro, did you see this?" But now I
Okay.
forgot it. What's Jack Black working on? Oh, I remember.
Anaconda.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, Anaconda, bro.
Yeah, Anaconda. Like I'm pretty interested in this, man. You know, I was a big fan of, let's see, the original Anaconda was back in 97, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Was it 97? And that was a more serious film, but this one looks to be more of an action comedy, and I'm definitely excited to see it because I mean, like we just said, Jack Black, he's the man. And I love to laugh. And if he can pull off something where I can laugh and be scared at the same time, I'm all for it.
I'm excited for it.
Hell yeah. We got to figure out when that releases, man. We got to go see that bad boy.
I'm there.
Definitely, definitely. But you know, I wanted to ask you, dude, like, have you ever had anything really scary happen to you during winter, like during the winter time?
Mm.
Have you ever had any type of crazy, scary story or anything happen to you?
No, not off the top of my head.
Well,
Why? Is there
then you're
something that's bothering you?
no, I mean, not anything recent, thank God, you know. But like, you know, a couple episodes ago, we were talking about how how eerie it is, right? Just to be outside when it's snowing, when there's snow on the ground. It just seems like it's a little bit darker, a little bit quieter, right? And scientifically, the reason is because the snow itself kind of absorbs sound, and so it makes it seem like it's a lot quieter outside. And when you break that silence, it makes it seem like each, you know, little sound, no matter how little it is, it kind of like echoes, right? Like it's kind of creepy. But I remember being a little kid, man. Not a little kid, but I was in like 8th grade. And I remember this is when I lived in that haunted house in Michigan, right? And I was getting ready to leave for the day. It was winter, and I had just left my front door. And to get to the front of the house, like to get to the road, our driveway was really long, and it went over these like train tracks. And the bus would pick me up at the bottom of that, you know, of that like long driveway on the other side of the train tracks. And I remember, you know, just kind of waking up and whatever and kind of wiping my eyes. And I'm walking, adjusting my like backpack. And as I'm walking, I start to hear footsteps behind me. And of course, you know, that sound is really pronounced because you can hear it, right? So like you hear your own footsteps, and then I started hearing somebody else's footsteps. And so I'm like, okay, I know my brother's not here,
Mm.
right? Because for whatever reason, I think he had been, I can't remember where he was at the time, but I remember turning around and looking behind me, and I didn't see anything behind me. My brother wasn't behind me. So I'm like, huh. So I start walking again. And as I'm walking, I start hearing those footsteps again. And so, of course, I turn around again and I look and I don't see anything. So I start walking again. And then as I'm walking, I start to hear the footsteps again. So I start to walk a little bit faster, right? Because I'm thinking it's just, I don't know, maybe my ears are playing tricks on me or something. And so I start walking a little bit faster. And then I notice that the footsteps get faster. And so I go a little bit faster than that. And then again, I'm hearing these footsteps that are walking behind me sound like they're getting faster. And so now I'm doing like kind of a jog. And then I start to hear along with these footsteps behind me. Now I'm starting to hear like this breathing, this heavy breathing. And of course, I take off running. I look behind me. I don't see anything there, but I can hear the thud of these footsteps behind me. I can hear the breath, right? I can hear this heavy breathing, this panting. So I was in like full flight mode, dude. I was running in a dead sprint, running down this long driveway up this like road that went up to these train tracks. And all the while I'm still hearing the footsteps and the breathing behind me. Bro, I get to the top of this hill where the train tracks are at, and I look, and bro, I look down and I can see the bus is pulling up. And I'm like, I have to get to this bus. I don't know what the hell's chasing me, but I have to get to this bus because the bus driver was kind of a dick, right? And if you weren't there, he would just take off.
Bro, I've been on bus stops where I have been there and they just keep
Yeah,
going.
they just keep driving off, right? So, but this is,
Ugh,
school bus driver.
the
And so,
worst.
bro, I take off down this damn hill, down this road. I'm running as fast as I can. My little pudgy self just pedaling a mile a minute, right? And I'm still hearing the breathing just getting harder and faster behind me. Like I could feel like whatever this thing was that was chasing me was right on my heels, dude. Bro, thank God that I think one of my friends ended up yelling at the bus driver and was like, "Hey, he's coming, open the door." Right? And so like he opens the door, bro, I jump onto this bus and I go right to the back seat cuz I used to sit in this like little one-seater at the back. And I just sat in this seat, dude. I'm drenched in sweat. I'm panting. I'm having like a friggin' panic attack. I'm breathing all hard. And we drive off, and as we're driving off, I'm just looking through the window trying to see something, you know trying to catch a glimpse of whatever the hell it was that chased me. And I remember my friend, his name was David. He was on the bus and he goes, "Damn, man," he's like, "you look like you've seen a ghost." And I looked at him just like, bro, I wanted to curse him out right there. I mean, he didn't know,
Yeah.
he didn't know what was going on. But it was just like my adrenaline was flowing. I mean, I was in survival mode at that moment. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
it was one of the most terrifying ordeals I've ever had to deal with as a child. I mean, I wouldn't want to be a full grown man and have to deal with that. And it was just an extremely terrifying experience, one of many that I've had at that house. And yeah, I mean, every time that I think about winter, I think about that. I always think about that situation. And I remember that day when I came back home from school, I remember being freaked the hell out, dude, because I'm like, what if whatever the hell it was is still here? You know, like I remember walking really slowly, listening really hard, but thankfully, what happened earlier that day did not repeat itself when I got home. But yeah, it scared the shit out of me, man.
No, I will agree. There, the snow and the cold is beautiful, but
Mm-hmm.
at night, and especially when you're alone, it's
Mm-hmm.
creepy. Because I've taken the garbage out at like 2 o'clock in the morning, and it is so quiet out. It
Dude,
it definitely makes the hair on the back of your neck stand up because you're just alert, and the fact that I was alert, but the
uh-huh.
fact that you actually were being chased
Mm-hmm.
and you could hear it breathing. You never got to look at it.
No, there was nothing there. Nothing physically there, right? I didn't see anything, but I could hear it. And dude, I felt it.
Ugh.
I could feel whatever the hell this thing was. It was on my heels, bro. Yeah, it scared the hell out of me.
Just toying with you. Because I
I'm
mean, if it
telling you.
wanted to, I'm sure it could have caught you.
Oh, absolutely.
But
I agree with you. I think that this thing was basically just trying to scare the hell out of me. And it did. It really did, man. I was terrified. You know what? There have been a few times in my life that I have been genuinely scared. And I can honestly say that was one time. There was only one other time. And it happened in that house, man, where I've probably been the most terrified. Like, people talk about being scared,
Mhm.
right? People think that they know what true fear is. But for me, I know what true fear is because when you are truly afraid and when you're truly scared, your whole body locks up. It's like your brain doesn't know how to register whatever is happening at that moment. And I've literally been, you remember back in the day, like in cartoons, when they showed a character getting scared, there was like ice that went up its back.
Yeah.
That dude, I felt that. I actually felt that type of fear where I just felt this cold, like my spine turned to ice, and I literally could not move.
Ugh.
And unfortunately, that was something that happened a lot in that house in Michigan. I'm kind of sad that the house is no longer there, but the land is still there. I would have liked for you to go and to see the house just so that you could kind of get an idea,
Yeah.
right, of like the things that happen there, because it's a lot easier to tell a story when you have that visual aid, right? Unfortunately, the only thing that I have left is pictures, right? Because they ended up knocking down the house. But man, bro, to this day, man, when I think about all the crazy shit that happened in that house, all the things that I experienced, the hairs on my arm stand up, because that is, when I was truly terrified. I was super scared.
No, I remember you telling me a lot about this house. I remember you and your brothers talking about it with me. I know you have photos. Isn't there like a photo with there's like something in the window?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I actually have it on my Facebook page. I should go ahead and share it on the Scary Vibes Facebook group page, and then maybe I can just send it to you and you can upload it onto uh the IG, the Instagram,
Yeah.
that would be dope just so like people can see the pictures. I know there is a picture of like me and my brother chilling in his room,
Hmm.
and I can't find this picture. I've been looking for it everywhere, but there is a picture of a disembodied hand resting on my brother's shoulder.
Bro.
Yeah, dude. I've been looking
Ugh.
everywhere for that thing. I hope I can find it. I hope I can find it cuz yeah, true evidence of the paranormal, bro.
I wish I was there. I'd give you a big hug right now.
I wouldn't turn you down, bro. I wouldn't turn you down. I could use a squeeze.
So I almost regret mentioning it in the beginning intro
Mm,
because it's just it's something I thought I would never do.
okay.
So this week I was able to watch a few things. So throughout the week I've been trying to catch up with season 2 of The Last of Us. I
Uh-huh.
feel really bad because I really loved the first season, and the second season when it came out,
Hmm.
if you remember, I'm sure you do, there was so much hate online, and I kind of just didn't have the time, and I was like, okay, the second season came up short and I don't want to deal with it.
Right.
But I've been watching it and it's actually really good. I
Hmm.
actually am mad at all those people who were, hating on it.
Well, I'm sure if you played the video game, you would probably hate on it too. Right. But
I did. I'm an Xboxer. So
right.
I didn't play the game, so maybe I'll keep it that way.
Yeah.
But that's not what I'm embarrassed of.
Okay.
Okay, so I've been watching that, but then over this weekend,
What's the
somebody
matter?
talked me into doing something that I thought I would never do.
Oh no.
And I don't even know, like I said, I regret talking about it in the intro because there's no going back. I'm not going to edit that part out. It's going to be too much work. So I might as well just come clean with you and with the audience.
Okay.
So this last weekend, I binge watched in 2 nights all of the Twilight movies.
What? You got Twilighted?
Uh,
Oh no. Oh, I'm so sorry.
so for our listeners, Twilight is from 2008. This is a teenage girl movie
Uh-huh.
where you follow a teenage girl named Bella. Okay, she moved from Arizona to Forks, Washington, to be with her
Forks.
father, and she goes to this new high school, and she's introduced to Edward Cullen, and he's a vampire, and
Yeah.
she's immediately in love. She's taken away by his aura.
She's drawn.
She's drawn in and she is just in love. And it doesn't take long for Edward to feel the same exact way.
Yeah.
And this love story, it drags out for 5 movies, over 10 hours of movie time.
And you watched it, dude, for 10
And, and
hours.
I watched it, and then it becomes a love triangle because then you're
Mm.
introduced to Jacob,
Mm-hmm.
another teenage boy that has a superpower of being able to transform into a wolf.
Right.
So you have this human girl, Bella, that's in love with, you know, Edward, which is a vampire. And then then she's like her feelings and her strings are being pulled because she also has feelings for this kid.
Uh-huh.
And once you get into like episode 3, or movie 3, you're kind of invested. You're in it. Like we got to
Mm.
figure out how it ends. I
You got hooked, huh?
mean, I didn't get hooked, but I feel like there was a solid love story here. Okay,
Okay.
there's a solid story. There's some fascinating, views on the way the vampires work and the werewolves work.
Uh-huh.
I just wish it was more goth and more dark, and it wasn't PG-13.
Right.
They need to remake this, but they need to make it darker so that I don't feel so weird about watching it.
Yeah. So, okay, I want to ask you, being a huge fan of horror, right? And
Yes.
then watching this movie that has vampires in it and has werewolves, quote unquote, in it. What what is your takeaway from this movie? Like, how is it different from the werewolves and the vampires that you are used to, right? Like, how did it measure up?
So on the vampire, I mean, on both sides, because I mean, on the wolf side, he doesn't kind of fall under the werewolf
Mm.
thing, but it's more of a native approach. So I kind of fuck with it, I guess, because I am Native American.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the vampire side, you know, he explains that he's like, I have this aura to me. You're gonna instantly be drawn into me. The smell that you smell on me, it's meant to make you come close to me so I could prey on you. But
Pheromones.
the weird thing about this vampire is he's a vegetarian, which basically which basically means
What
he doesn't
the
that he doesn't drink
partaking?
human blood. He
Right.
drinks animal blood.
I mean, but if he's a vegetarian, what the hell does he drink?
Animal blood. He drinks animal blood.
Oh, okay. So you're saying that it's like an equivalent to that, like to
Yes.
being a vegetarian.
And I mean, in every vampire movie I've ever seen, they usually can't. Well, not every, but most of the time, the sun hurts them. They try to stay out of the sun.
Right.
This dude, he's just like in the sun, glistening.
Ooh.
He's all glittered up.
Yeah.
Have you seen this?
Unfortunately, I have. Unfortunately, like I remember telling you earlier that I was went to the theater with my brother to go see this movie. I mean, because obviously my brother was a huge horror guy, right? And he took me to go see this movie, and I'm thinking, okay, vampires versus werewolves is awesome. But by the end of this movie, I was like, what the hell did I just watch? Like, dude, no. If listen, at the risk of sounding like a complete douchebag, if you are a fan of horror, do not go see this movie because it will probably leave you extremely angry, frustrated, because they've basically undone everything that makes a vampire and everything that makes a werewolf traditionally, right? Obviously they kept the lure, but they did away with everything else and made it a completely like almost
A
what like
romance.
a PG rated version
Yeah.
of the genres. And it's honestly it's not something that I would watch again, and I haven't, you know. So I mean, if you enjoyed watching it, more power to you, right? Unfortunately, I feel like it's like, come on, bro, take away the fun. You took fangs away from vampires. What? Come on, man.
What are some things you liked about it?
Um, I like the end credit scene. I like seeing the credits roll because that meant that it was over. No, you know what? I like the scenes that showed you how powerful the vampires were and how powerful the werewolves were too, and the fact that like they were locked into this like rivalry that was just centuries old. The fact that they had shared this hatred for each other, I like that, right? The fact that these natives, you know, these wolves felt that they needed to protect people from these vampires. So there was like a nobility to
Uh-huh.
them. You know, I thought that was really cool. I also thought it was really cool to show how fast and how strong these guys were. There were some pretty cool scenes where they showed like how far they could jump and stuff like that, and like they were like ripping like huge boulders out of the ground and whatnot. Like I thought that was pretty cool. And also like to kind of show you like how old the vampires are, or the fact like their bodies don't really pump blood anymore. Their skin, I guess over time, like the older that they get, it turns into like almost porcelain. And so like after a while, they might not be they might not be susceptible to harm from any other beings, but to other people that are like vampires and werewolves, if they hit them hard enough, they'll break because of how strong they are, right? And their skin after a while becomes almost like porcelain, like almost like stone. I thought that was pretty cool. The aspect of like, okay, it's kind of a different take on the vampires, right? Um, but I didn't like the whole thing. Like, I would have liked to have seen some kind of transition, like in between the transition for the werewolves. I would have liked to see like, how do I explain this? Okay, so they basically show them as humans, and then they show them as wolf. But I would like to see them as like a half human wolf at some point.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it was literally like, oh, they would jump and then just morph into this gigantic wolf.
Yeah, it
Like,
would be nice to see if it almost looked painful or like the transformation like more in depth.
mhm. Yeah.
Um like I said in the very beginning of my statement is I feel like it has a good there is a love story there. It's
Mhm.
fascinating. I like you said,
Uh-huh.
they have like the history of wolves and vampires. They have a good premise there. It's just so PG-13 and so 2008 and
Dude, I wouldn't even call it PG-13. That was straight PG.
yeah, this is definitely a, teenage girl love story. I'm hoping we get the chance to remake movies and I'd be down to remake this.
You're a softy. You loved it. It's okay.
I
You can love it. It's fine.
didn't
I won't judge you. Everybody else might.
you
Horror
know what
fans
everybody in
all over
the
the place. But
everybody in the comments go ahead and let us know what team you're on.
are you Team Edward or team what the hell was his name? Jacob?
It has to be
As
Edward.
you want to be Team Edward?
I gotta be. It's just,
What? Oh
it just
no.
feels right.
Wow.
Their love
Dude,
was
I
just too
remember
strong.
yo, listen, I remember when these movies first came out, there was a huge rivalry between girls that were Team Edward and Team Jacob. I remember they made like t-shirts and like they would go at it, bro. Like they would like fight over this crap, you
I
know?
remember a little bit of the campaign. I sat it out. I thought I was gonna be able to make a lifetime without watching this movie,
Uh
but you never say never, right? You never
right.
know what you're gonna do next. So,
Uh, yeah, man.
but
This is
yeah.
definitely, yeah, I don't know. I mean, for me, obviously it's, you know, it serves its purpose, obviously, you know. It's not for me, but obviously it was pretty successful. Had a pretty successful run for its intended audience, which is not me, you
So the
know.
end of the year is coming,
Okay.
and next episode, I need to plant the seed for our listeners. I need to plant the seed in your brain so you could get the thinking. I know after 2020, we're not going to say the word, but
Hmm.
I know your brain hasn't been working right since then.
Dang. Dang.
But
What you
we're
trying to
we're co-
say, bro?
we're coming up to the end of the year,
Uh-huh.
and I'm curious on favorite favorite movies of 2025, horror movies.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
gonna try to put together some categories, get them to you early, so we could put this together, and we could end season one
Oh, dude,
of this of the Scary Vibes podcast.
I'm excited about this.
You
I'm
are?
I'm not excited for the end of season 1, but I'm excited for coming up with, you know, this list and uh coming up with new things in the next season for Scary
Ooh,
Vibes. I'm
I'm
excited
excited.
for what lies ahead because this has been one hell of a ride. I
Ah,
got
it's
to
been
say.
so enjoyable.
Mhm. Definitely. We've learned a lot.
I do apologize for our earlier episodes. We were definitely in our learning process. And we're
Yeah,
still
man.
learning. We're still
Yeah.
learning. But I think we found a sweet spot of like how we like to conduct our episodes and how we like to go about it, and I think it's a lot smoother. And we just try to, for us, this is a labor of love. We do it for the community. We do it for people who just love movies and love horror movies. And I was actually surprised that there are actually some listeners that enjoy knowing about us. That's why we always take, the beginning of every episode to catch up with how we've been,
Yes.
so it's been fun.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun, man. A lot of trial and error. But like I said, looking forward to, what lies ahead in season 2, the changes that we're gonna, go through, the growth, the new things that we're gonna learn. It's gonna be awesome. I actually have something to look forward to in the coming year.
And if anybody has made it this far in the podcast and you're listening, I would love to hear some ideas from you guys because we do it for you, right? So
Mm-hmm.
if there's anything you would like us to do, anything that you see other people doing that you would think we could have a fun twist on it, just go ahead and drop it in the comments or reach out to us on social media. We're always on the Scary Vibes group and
Mm-hmm.
Facebook. We both have Instagram pages. He's Big Paranormal with 2 G's, and I'm Mr. Scary Vibes.
Yep.
But I think this is going to be an episode. And like I said, my name is Michael, aka Mr. Scary Vibes.
And my name is Abe, aka Big Paranormal. We'll catch you guys next time. Take care.